Okay, hi. This is a very simple exploratory data analysis for New York City taxi trips. Here we go. At the very beginning, we just want to highlight how data is distributed, first of all. So, here are the description of variables and what do they mean. Later on, what we start from is we start from importing the necessary libraries and reading the CSV file. Then we visualize the data as metadata, wherein we come across how many entries are there. For example, this particular data has 729 322 entries, and similarly different kinds of columns. Do they have null values or not? So we have a very good data which doesn't even have any null values. And data type, what kind of data do we have? Here we have ID, which is an object, means this is a combination of letter and words, numbers maybe, and here vendor ID, which is an integer. Similarly, all the data we have. Then we see initial five rows, that how does our data look, because after looking at data, then we can think about taking out something new or maybe creating some new columns out of it. Now, looking at ID is just an anonymous ID, so we don't need it. Vendor ID seems like a categorical variable at the beginning, so doesn't worry about it. 1212 is common. Pickup date time is a timestamp. This can be converted. From here I can take out time in as in hours. I can also take out day. I can also take out seconds if I need, but I think day and hour will do the most. Rest, drop off, same thing I can take out from them, so I can create two more columns from these two. Passenger counts, this also seems like a bit of a category. For example, number of people who are traveling only alone, that is one number. They, how many are they, or how many traveling with six people, how many are they? We'll look at it in the later on. Pick up longitude and latitude, these are coordinates, they are geographical coordinates, and basically without employing them together I cannot do much about it. Same thing is with drop off longitude and latitude. uh, if there is a way which from by which I can create these 2 points and see a distance between them, this could give me a new column of distance. So that could have been helpful, because that way we could map all these entries within the New York and see how which are the areas having density, means heavy, with heavy density and everything. We'll see later on if we can do this. Store and forward flag, this is something of a category once again. We'll look at it later. And trip duration, this is definitely some kind of float data or something. Yeah, in seconds, this is in seconds. So after looking at the uh, table, we start with our univariate analysis. But just before that, we see that what kind of things can be done. What is our outreach with the data? So distance, as I told, we don't know, and all these things are decided in here. All these things are described in here. You can have a look at my GitHub, and this will be available there. Now, first thing I do is that I take out month, day name, hour from the date time that I was given. So I apply a very simple lambda function in it, and I apply a for loop in every place. So this very simple thing gives me around four more columns. So visualizing once again this, I get four other columns, such as I get pickup month, I also get pickup day name, pickup hour, and similar things for drop off month and all. So this is one, two, three, six different columns from only this amount of code. It's a good thing, good start. So we start by analyzing categorical variables at first. So this is the univariate analysis of categorical variables, numerical variables. I thought trip duration, pickup hour, and drop off hour, these are the continuous variables that I have, and I should deploy them for my numerical analysis. So I grouped them together. Then I started with a, once again, I defined a function, a loop, which will help me in calculating basic statistics such as minimum, maximum, range, mean, median, standard deviation, skewness, and kurtosis value. Similarly, I can then plot this whole data, which is having a common group. For example, all these three variables can be plotted in a single line by writing this code. This is not tough, but this is understandable. This just has lot of names in it, otherwise it is easy. So moving on, I plotted the first graph, and the first graph that I plotted was of trip duration. I can see from the graph itself that this is an amazing data. Like, I have so many outliers which are properly visible, and my data speaks for itself. For example, let's have a look at standard deviation and mean. 952, first standard deviation is coming at a negative 2912. Now, this is something that is undigestible. How can this happen? I mean, trip duration, how can it be negative? And the same thing goes for the second standard deviation also, 4816. So, this is in seconds. I can calculate, like I can add them. I can add the average, that is 952 plus 29 minus means negative value of 2912. Similarly, 952 plus 4816. While doing this, after doing this, my 68% data should lie there, but it won't because I have a negative value. It is not possible for my 68% data to fit into these places. So definitely not a normal distribution, definitely not coming from a normal family distribution, and kurtosis is telling me right away. Kurtosis is basically very simple. It tells me whether data is heavy tailed or light tailed. Now in this case, when I'm getting a value that is very heavy positive, now kurtosis doesn't have a unit. Kurtosis is a unitless value, but so this is a kind of a ratio. This 87,142 is telling me strikingly that I have lot of things to discuss upon. And similarly the skewness. Skewness basically tells me the symmetry of data. Now skewness being 186.68 tells me that the data is not symmetrical at all. It is highly skewed towards right side, as we can see a positive value of skewness 186.68. The range speaks for itself. The range is quite high and these are in seconds. So middle value 663. Now basically when we understood that what kurtosis is trying to tell us or skewness is trying to tell us, let's see a practical implication of this. Now kurtosis is giving me a number that is way higher. This tells me later on when I'll figure out that there are some products within New York City taxi, uh, this particular taxi, where people are using cab for shorter trips as well as for longer trips. Now this kurtosis value is high because there are also people who are using it for the longer trips. The number of people might be less, but that is making my data skew towards right about trip duration. So that's how kurtosis is helpful. Similarly, when I talk about skewness, skewness is also telling me the same thing, but in terms of symmetry of the data, not in terms of the tailness. So it is telling that it is not symmetrical at all, and a lot of data is lying in the right hand side. So this is about trip duration and summary is written in here. Now when I created a table with pickup R, created another column with pickup R, I forgot that pickup R is becoming a discrete value. So that's why this data is that's why this graph is looking like a lot of discrete values, and that's actually true. So I have taken out pickup R as discrete values, and that's why you can see that mean is 13.61, standard deviation is this, kurtosis is negative, skewness is also negative. This data is not close to normal, but it is okay not to be normal. I think I should have treated this as a categorical variable, which I'll do later on. However, whatever the observations which I found, I wrote them down here. They can be read later on. Now, univariate analysis of categorical variables. Categorical variables, I found out what are the categorical variables. I once again made a loop just like I did on previous continuous variables, and after making a loop, basically in categorical variables we don't have much to discuss other than highest value, like which is the hash number, which is second hash number, second lowest, like this. So here we go, all the categories we listed. First our category was about passenger count. So as we can see, number of people traveling solo is 70.9%. That's quite high, and I think that's good. Like people traveling solo, maybe they like traveling solo. People traveling 6 is quite less. Only 3% people are traveling in 6 numbers. So from here I can also draw another conclusion that maybe I have less number of big cars. I mean that where passenger capacity is actually 6. More number of small cars. This is also possible. Now once again pickup month, the similar trend for we see pickup month. There is an when we observe this, Almost every month has similar rides, so there's no problem in this particular thing. Pickup month is good to go. Similarly, drop off month looks also good. And last, drop off day name and pickup day name. Okay, this is pickup day name. So here I can see that Friday is having the highest number of ride, but distribution is not that heavily one sided. The distribution is almost similar for every day. Same thing comes up with the drop off day name. This is the summary. And okay, in order to clear the problem that was happening with the time, since I first took it, the pickup hour which I took it as a categorical continuous variable. Here I tried creating a category out of it. So I created bins, and after creating the bins, I created bins of this pickup hour, so I can know that what particular hours are having highest demand. So here it is, 18 to 2100 hours at the evening is having highest demand of rides. This is a good data. And 21 to 2400 hours, this is about night, is having less demand. Least demand is from morning 100 hours, 1000 hours to 6000 hours. So that's how we know that what kind of supply do we need at what point of time. Now converting store and forward flag and vendor ID to category. What I did here is store and forward flag is, what does this mean? Basically, when we are traveling in a cab, if we are having a seamless internet connectivity and connection and our data is constantly getting to the server, it is telling it as a no, that no data has not to be stored in the cab or in the feed or in the driver's mobile and later on it was sent. It is just telling that the whole connection was seamless. So 99.4% of the cases my connection was very easy, very good, and that's a good thing. Similarly, vendor ID, there are two different kinds of vendor, and two is having 53.5% of all the rights and one is having 46.4% of all the rights. So this is quite a good distribution, not a problem. Now there we go. Univariate analysis ended here, and then we start with bivariate analysis, where I had some of the hypotheses for it. Now hypothesis of first query that I had was, do specific time of the day has any relation with longer or shorter duration trip? For example, people were taking longer as well as shorter duration trip. So I plotted a strip plot for this, and what I observed from this strip plot is that most of the people like to travel less number of hours. That was evident from our univariate analysis also. But during this particular time, 12 to 15 hours, there were people who are also traveling in between these two extreme values. So this is something new. And similarly, there is distribution is everywhere except during this 18-21 hours. Either the trips are very short or trips are long. Once again, shorter trips are more than the longer trips, we can see from here. Now from here we can further check that whether these longer trips are done by many people. This is an intriguing thing, and basically I didn't write it down here, but I found out that this was being done only by a handful of people. From 7,96,000 around data, we have only around 1000 people who are doing these kinds of trips. So this longer trip is not a thing to worry about. Maybe they are using the cab for more than a day or something. After writing all this analysis, I started having one more thought, that maybe specific days of the week have any relation with longer or shorter trip. For example, maybe people like to go on a longer trip during weekends rather than weekdays. So I plotted a bar plot wherein I could see that average of every day has been plotted with some error bars, and highest error bar is around Tuesday. So in order to clarify my thoughts on this, I looked at a box plot. But before going to that, if we can see this particular thing, somewhere around 900 something we are having average of every day. Maximum 1000 seconds per day average is there. So this tells me that the heavy number of outliers which were visible at the beginning are not very huge in number. They are there, but they are less in number. Let's see the box plot. Yes, See, the box plot is showing the same picture. It's starting from 25,000 sorry 250,000 hours, sorry seconds, 250,000 seconds, and my data has all the outliers. The box plot whisker is also not visible, like the whisker is like somewhere close to zero. I think whisker is somewhere around 1000 10,000 seconds only, not more than that. But on Tuesday particularly, I see some outliers who are doing very high number of trips on Tuesday. So after writing these observations, I come at the end to map. Now this is basically the end of bivariate. After this maps, I tried mapping Pudo's pickup and drop off point, and I used Folium for this. I am taking just one point right now. So one point of pickup location with the help of latitude and longitude, I marked it as it at near 86th Street. Means my rider sat somewhere on 86th Street. The cab started. For 400 seconds it ran, and cab came to a halt at 72nd Street or this Park Avenue area. It came to an halt here. Now good thing about it is it can easily be visualized. Like I can even visualize minimum 10 datas here altogether. Top 10. Yep, here I can. So this is my top 10 datas here. And similarly, this is pickup data. I can also visualize the drop off data. Here we go. This is the drop off data. And yes, they do look a little bit similar. Yep, they do. But this is drop off geographical coordinates, and this particular is pickup geographical coordinates. Now the challenge that I'm facing here is if anyhow I could just match these two particular pinpoint locations, I can easily get distance from it. Now if you guys have any uh, thing that can help me with this, please connect me either on LinkedIn or on GitHub. That's it. Thank you.